Hello, and welcome to the Anachroschism. I'm Chris, the Dungeon Master for our story, and this video is an introduction to the setting and characters of our 5th edition D&D campaign. We'll be airing it right here on this channel every weekend, with new episodes posting on Saturday and Sunday. This has been a big undertaking, with years of planning to this point, figuring out characters, building a world from scratch, and working on our setup. We have 6 cameras in 4 locations that bring everybody together for this. But we think the end result has been worth it so far, and we hope that you'll join us on the journey. First, let's introduce the players and the characters they'll be playing. Like everything else in this video, you can find more information in the links down below in the description.
Stuart, if that's his real name, is in his 20s. He's slender, tousled, medium-length hair. He looks like Noctis.
Yeah.
If you guys know what I'm talking about. His face is usually covered by a metal mask. It's in the shape of a skull that appears as though it is crafted with like a bunch of bones on it. This is very cool. And like optic enhancements in the eyes. He wears a cloak and a hood, 2 gun holsters on the inside. My phone turned off. Stuart, to this point, he just seems to have a vendetta against like corrupted politicians, people with power, and those who would look to abuse that power. That sense of justice drives him, but he also kind of has self-imposed these ethics of not killing, and that kind of makes him clash with the team at different spots. So he's partners with Grail. They met recently and have kind of been traveling together. He's just sort of met the rest of the group, and doesn't really, other than Lena, doesn't really know if he can trust him yet or not. That's it. That's Stuart. That's Stuart 101.
Yeah. My turn. Okay. My character is Lena Silvaquist. She is a wood elf from the Sowenwood. They're pretty isolated. She's the princess. She's just left with Tessian. That's her partner. She's tall, blonde hair, green eyes, wood elf. Pretty standard. She is a shapeshifter. She can turn into animals. She is pretty naive about the world right now, so traveling has been very interesting for her. And, yeah.
So just like real life.
Yeah!
Yeah, so, and for what it's worth, I'm a human gunslinger. I realize I didn't actually get into what I was.
Yes.
So
I'm a druid.
And her name is Michaela.
Yes.
If that is your real name.
If that is my real name.
Okay, now we go this way.
Yeah, so I'm Jason. That's my real human name. I am playing Tessian. He is a Genasi sorcerer. He's in his early 20s. He's kind of got teal blue eyes, kind of stark white hair that kind of flutters about a little bit, almost like it's always in a breeze. He kind of exudes a noble's confidence, dresses in finely made traveler's clothing. He's got a signet ring that sort of shimmers to it, got a hooked lightning bolt on it, and a golden brooch kind of shaped like a little lotus on his cloak, got some daggers. He's kind of just a traveling, I don't want to say politician, but diplomat of sorts for his family. Currently, as Michaela mentioned, traveling with Miss Lena. And he's sort of doing his best to keep an eye on her, look out for her, and we've sort of fallen in with these groups of arguably unstable characters, and he's just trying to keep his eye on everything.
Because we don't trust you? Because you're hiding something?
We're definitely the ones hiding something. The name on my plate is my real name. Some of us are not using real names.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, Tessian is that's him in a nutshell, essentially.
So you look like you're on the cover of like the next Twilight poster, basically.
A little bit, but there's more lightning in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like Harry Potter meets Twilight.
More lightning.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
I mean, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Please don't be alarmed by the fact that I can touch Jason. This is perfectly normal. Okay, Grail, played by Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I am playing Grail, who is a human rogue. She is but a child. Well, not really a child. She's 17, so kind of a child, a little immature for her age, but very plucky. She is short, about 5'3", gray eyes, strawberry blonde hair that she keeps up in a lot of braids, kind of like Daenerys style. And she was actually raised on a sheep farm or a sheep ranch with her family, and that didn't quite go to plan. So I guess plan B was to be a badass rogue. And she is on the lookout for someone very close to her, and so that's kind of her mission going into this. And she stumbled upon Stuart some weeks ago, and they have kind of combined forces.
And finally, Mike as Karash.
Yeah, I'm Mike. I'm playing Karash. Karash is a no-nonsense blue dragonborn paladin looking for his missing clan, and who finds the mainlanders and their ways very confusing. Large, muscly, and highly motivated, Karash serves Kord, the god of war and thunder, who saved Karash once by striking him from a cliff face with lightning, burning the white markings of lightning into his very skin, and keeping Karash from death or possible enslavement. Karash, to be short, is a loyal, aggressive, and frequently baffled dragonborn.
And has no restraint. You forgot that part.
No filter.
Motivation.
Now, to be fair,
highly motivated.
he could have
right.
killed him instead of taking the limbs off. So
Oh,
that's
sure.
restraint.
So
Let's be
there
clear
is
here.
some.
How much of it's Sean, how much of it's Stuart, you decide.
Yeah, I know. The line's very blurred at the moment. Our story takes place in the country of Aramina. Its history stretches back centuries, but the most notable development was the War of Calamity almost 40 years ago. What happened there depends on who's telling the story, but two factions were involved. The nobles, people of royal birth who also pass on magical ability in their bloodline, and the Gears, an upstart group of commoners who excelled at developing technology. The Gears were tired of having birth determine who was fit to rule, but the animosity between the two sides really took off when a passenger train carrying a high-ranking Gear member was sabotaged and exploded, killing hundreds on board. Neither faction took the blame, both pointed the finger at the other, and eventually that hatred and distrust turned into a full-scale war. The Gears used their numbers and the element of surprise to their advantage, assembling a massive force that headed straight for Winchester, where the royal family and tens of thousands of nobles lived. With its forces stretched across the continent, the monarchy was caught off guard, and after several days of fighting was stunned to realize they were losing. Panicking in a moment of weakness, Emperor Sterling Whitehall IV made a hasty decision and opted to use the untested device known as the mana cannon. It was a powerful weapon that could be instilled with magical energy, but when the Emperor's personal guard activated it, it took much more than just their magic. It drained their very life force. The Emperor could only watch as dozens of men crumpled to the ground around him, and the cannon, almost bursting from the influx of energy, fired out into the countryside, annihilating nearly the entire battlefield where the war was taking place. Since then, the royalty has reasserted its power by claiming they had no choice but to use the cannon. The Gears were disbanded as an official group, and two others took the throne, one who ruled with an iron fist, threatening to use the weapon again, and another who was a staunch supporter of nobles and commoners alike. But tensions still bubble under the surface, and for many, power is just something to exploit for personal benefit. Our characters first stepped into this world in Sagara Cove, a small city on the eastern coast. There, they came together for various reasons to deal with hags who had been abducting children in the area. Despite their differences, they succeeded at their task by working together, but soon found themselves faced with something much more vile. A group of mercenaries known as the Blades of Indemnity, who were rumored to be kidnapping civilians and selling them to slavers. The Blades had an operation on the docks of Sagara Cove, which the party was able to infiltrate and shut down. The trail then led them to a nearby base in the mountains known as the Sanguine Stronghold, where they discovered dozens of slaves unconscious, packed into shipping containers. They were able to stop the operation there, but despite fixing some of the symptoms, the disease of corruption still festered, and hundreds of slaves were unaccounted for. With those problems still lingering, as well as some individual vendettas among the group, what will they do next? So that's the basics for our campaign. Again, for more information, you can check out all the links in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss an episode. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Anachroschism.